What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, a flu test, RSV, maybe some other virus, I hope you have tested negative, but if you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long-term issues. It is time now for the Friday edition of the Pandemic Update for Friday, December 29th, 2023. That's right, it's the final Friday of 2023. Where did the time go? We're coming up on New Year's weekend, and a new year is coming starting next week, and it's not coming at a good time because we're not going to start next year on a good note, and we're not ending this year on a good note. First off, if you are new to my channel, this is where I update on various different health topics, specifically the COVID-19 pandemic, but other things as well. Anything that could be a threat to your health in form of a virus that you could catch. Our mission here is to inform you, because guess what? You don't hear much about this on the news anymore. You don't hear much from the CDC, the WHO, the government, other agencies around the world. Someone has to do it, and guess what? I took on that job. So if at the end of this video you enjoy what you see, maybe you want to see more content like this, thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below and share this with other people to get the word out that, hey, someone still is reporting on the pandemic. All right, we got a very busy news day today. I also have a poll that I conducted last night, which got a ton of responses. And then we have some new data that came in. Still waiting on California. Hopefully, maybe by the end of this video, I can hit refresh on California and it will be in. Starting off today with Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, Democratic Senator Bernie Sanders. He says he has COVID. He put out a tweet yesterday saying, "I have tested positive for COVID. My symptoms are minimal, and I will continue to work from home in Vermont while isolating in accordance with CDC guidance. I am glad to be fully up to date with the vaccine." You know, that sounds like the normal canned response from the majority of the politicians. Hopefully he does have a full and speedy recovery, but hey, we'll keep an eye out to see if any other news does pop up on this. Now moving on to Ireland, where emergency departments are seeing a 80% rise in patients with flu or COVID, HSE figures show. There are currently 30 outbreaks of COVID in hospitals and 24 in nursing homes. I did retweet this story from someone else. If you want to read the full story, you can head over to my Twitter account at COVID Data Report. I still call Twitter. Yes, I know it is now called X. All right, moving on to this. We're not going to read the full story, but this is very important. If you are a younger person watching this video, please pay close attention to this. Rushing back to exercise could cause long COVID. So young COVID-19 survivors say they would never have pushed themselves physically during recovery if they had known it may have played a role in triggering their long COVID, an expert says. I have said this several times before. Even people who just have a mild case of COVID can end up with long COVID. You do not need a severe case where you end up in the hospital to develop long COVID, which is why it is super important. After you have tested positive, you're multiple days into your case, you may feel like, hey, I'm starting to feel better. Slow down. Slow your roll. Do not rush back into your exercising. Get as much rest as possible before rushing back. All right, moving on to this now. Post-holiday illness spreading in Lexington, Kentucky, and it says here, whether you traveled for the holidays, did some last-minute shopping, or hosted your friends and family for Christmas dinner, there's a chance that you're one of the hundreds feeling under the weather. Yes, a lot of people are testing positive for the various different types of COVID. Okay, the JN.1 variant, flu, strep, all these different viruses out there, not just COVID. COVID cases are on the rise too, with over 180 reported in the last week in the Lexington area. Alrighty, taking a look at this study here, we're not going to read the whole study, we're just going to read a headline here. Study finds similar brain effects after severe COVID, other critical illnesses. What does that mean? Well, they're talking about the brain effects from severe COVID, people who were hospitalized with COVID can get similar effects as a heart attack or pneumonia or other critical illnesses. So where am I getting to here? I'm getting to the point that for all you people out there that are saying, oh, COVID's just a mild cold, blah, blah, blah. Only certain people get hospitalized or doesn't impact people that bad. You recover and you're fine within a few days. No, 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 no. Those who can get severe COVID, who end up getting severe COVID, sometimes it can impact your brain. And your brain is a vital resource of your body. You need your brain to function every day. You need it to remember, you need it to think, you need it for just about doing anything and everything. Remember, your brain sends signals to your body. Like if I want to move my hand, well, my brain's helping me do that. My brain's telling me how to do that. And COVID can impact that just like a heart attack can, just like a stroke can. Yes, so it is not a good thing that COVID can impact your brain. That's a bad thing. All right, moving on to this now. From Twitter, I found this. Take a look at this. There will be more COVID transmission in the U.S. on New Year's Eve than during 96.4% of the pandemic. Repeating, more transmission than 96.4% of the pandemic. The only other time we got this high was, you guessed it, Omicron BA.1. And this graphic was put together by a Mike Horger, who also does COVID modeling, estimating on what the levels are of COVID in the U.S. So, yeah, I mean, this is some good stuff right here. To see this graphic, it really tells you just how bad things are getting right now. And I'm going to give you some more hints and signals of how bad things are when we get to the data portion of this in just a minute. Speaking of data, I conducted a poll last night, 9:26 p.m. It's gotten a ton of votes, 3,580, so with 5 hours still to go, so it'll probably go over 3,600 votes. Just a quick poll, just a real simple question. Do you know one or more people positive for COVID right now? If more than one, put in the comments section how many you know positive, and I said I would share a few of the comments down below. Now there's 452 comments. We're not going to go cherry picking through them all, but I don't have to go scroll down too far to find somewhere it's just a staggering number of positives. 68.7% said yes, they know someone who has COVID right now. 31.3% say no. Is that actually accurate? Are they trolling, or do they just not know anyone? Anything's possible, but I think 68.7% out of over 3,500, almost 3,600 votes, that is quite a few people. Right away, we see someone here said 6 people. Then we come down here, someone said 1 in the UK. Maya Andrews said 3 people. It just goes on and on here. Oh, what's this right here? Amy Tyrell. I currently know 14 people. 14. That's a lot of people. I mean, it just goes on and on. Someone says here they know 12. I'm pretty sure there was someone down here. Yes, I think we found it. This weekend started, this is from a James F. Smith. This weekend started with 5 positives, then blew up to 23 people. What? Yes, he knows 23 different people who have currently tested positive. 5 was a very common number. 3 is a very common number. Here's someone that knows 8. I mean, on and on it goes. People, everyone, it seems like a lot of people know at least one person right now who has tested positive, with a good majority here knowing way more than just one person positive. So that's just telling you the scope here. That's just showing how many cases within the data we're likely missing right now. There are a lot of people that know someone who is positive with COVID right now. All right, moving on. We have a lot more things to get to. I have to show you the air quality because air quality impacts our health. I know with me having asthma, bad air quality days often affect me. Taking a look at the mid-Atlantic U.S., you can see there's a few yellow areas, moderate, not terribly concerned. We come out to the West Coast, it's fireplace season. So with fireplace season, a lot of people are using their fireplaces, and that does lead to poor air qualities. Moving on, Walgreens this week, the national positivity was 26.8%. And yes, we will be doing our wastewater update this week, but I just want to show you 2 figures here. 60 to 79% COVID detect, that's the orange. 424 sites now. 80 to 100% COVID detected. That's at 389 sites. So yes, that is really high. Again, look for the wastewater update on Sunday. Also look for our year in review. I have decided that I may do that tomorrow in lieu of a pandemic update. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. I may end up just doing that on Sunday, which would be New Year's Eve. So we'll see. At some point this weekend, I am doing the year in review where we take a look back on various people who tested positive this year, the various different variants of the year, all that good stuff. Taking a look here, actually, it's not good stuff. It's bad stuff, but all the things that happened throughout the year. Taking a look at wastewater activity across the country, you can see, yes, there's a lot of dark blue. Dark blue represents very high levels. We're not going to take a look at any individual sites today. And look at this epidemic status here with these purple maroon color where it's growing. The East Coast, yes, there's quite a few of them. Likely growing, which is the purple. Likely growing, yes, there's states with that as well, and it's around the country. Look at this. Growing status now in Louisiana. Likely growing now in California. We were wondering when that was going to kick in. And states like California are out in the west, which have been slow to get going with the JM.1 wave. I would have to think, because they have not had much of a wave yet, with back to school coming up not too far away, I'm thinking there's going to be some big time school outbreaks because there's plenty of room for that variant to grow out there. And once the kids mix and mingle back in school, some schools have well over 1,000 students in these high schools. There's plenty of room for some major school outbreaks to occur in those areas. Continuing on now, JN.1 is at 44.2%. It's the dominating variant. Yes, hospitalizations. COVID-19 hospital admissions in the past week. 29,059. That's up by 16.7%. Then we come over to this. Philadelphia yesterday. 838 EMS incidents. 145 fire incidents, although we don't really care too much about the fire. That's a bad thing. We're one of the busiest fire departments in the country, but this is the big number right here. 838 EMS incidents. It's not good, and the suburbs today are not good. Either at one point earlier on the CAD page, I know I have here 27. It actually got higher than that. I wasn't going to make another tweet. Montgomery County, Pennsylvania had 28 active incidents on this list. When you go to the map view, which actually, it's lagged a little bit. There's some incidents that have already been completed, but they still are on the map view. That went over 40 incidents at one point. And what I want to draw to your attention from earlier, look how many of them were respiratory. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, but 8 respiratory emergencies at once. And Chester County earlier, yes, sick persons and respiratory. It was the cream of the crop earlier. So, yeah, the COVID surge, the virus surges in general right now are off the chart. Let's take a look at what's going on right now in Montgomery County. And wow, it has blown up yet again with respiratory emergency calls. Mind you, what I showed you earlier, I tweeted that out. Let's go back to that for a second. 12:46 p.m. We are now at 4:32 p.m. and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 respiratory calls right now in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. So, yes, COVID and flu and anything else that can cause a respiratory difficulty is absolutely off the charts right now. We're seeing sick person calls. We're seeing respiratory difficulty calls still in Chester County, Pennsylvania as well. I could probably show you Delaware County as well, although theirs is not in a list. It's kind of like these long paragraphs. It's really difficult to show you. I wish I could do a live looking with Philadelphia County. I wish I could show you all the major cities around the country. We could probably do a daily video just on that, but there's not very many CADs out there. The only other one I know of in Pennsylvania is Delaware County, and Lancaster County has one as well. So here's New Jersey today. 70 out of 70 hospitals reported. 1,129 hospitalizations. They're rapidly rising. 34 people on a ventilator. In the ICU, 116. Discharge volume. It's been increasing because, well, you're having a high number of people in the hospital. That does not include deaths. 198 discharges. Then we come over to New York State, and I have to refresh this just to make sure this updated. Okay, it's saying 2,549 cases. It is saying on the 29th. This, we know, did update, and it's not good, my friends. The hospitalizations in New York State. Let's just refresh you. They ended last week at 2,202. They fast-tracked to 2,482 to start this week. Then they went to 2,637, and now they're all the way up to 2,774. Hospitalizations for COVID are rapidly rising in New York State at this time. These are some of the fastest rises that have been seen since last year, and it's very similar to the old BA.1 variant at this time frame. I want to zoom this out, maximize this to as far as I can go, and I want to show you something here. You can see the rise that's going on right now. It's just a rapid rise. You can see, to end last year, or to start, I should say, to start this year, there was a huge jump. Why was there a huge jump? Well, because there was a huge lag from New Year's holiday. I'm expecting that's going to happen again to start 2024, and I'm expecting they'll probably start 2024. My guess, probably over 3,000 hospitalizations, but we shall see. And here's what happened back with that old BA.1 variant. You can see it rapidly rise for a long period of time. I'm not expecting that to happen. Remind you, not all hospitals are testing for COVID right now, so there's likely a miss on some COVID cases in the hospital. The actual number, it's probably much higher than we know about. Alrighty, moving on. Let's see. Did we finally get an update out of Texas? I'll just keep refreshing this every day. I'm not finding anything. Here we go. Finally, Texas updated the current week. 16,751 cases. That's 486 higher than the previous week, which was 16,265. New fatalities, 46 versus 48. So it's showing here that it's too higher, but that's not making any sense to me. It's showing here too higher. So in theory, if it was too higher than 48, that should be 50. I think what they did was they got these numbers mixed up, and it should say 48 for this week. Any case, it's still, any deaths is too many deaths. Hospitalized COVID-19 cases, day of report, it says 1,507. That's up by 82, and that is an increase from the previous number, which was 1,425. So Texas staying at elevated levels and slightly higher than the previous week. Chicago this week, the number of people in the hospital did increase. And let's check on California real quickly. Hopefully it has updated. We will see here. Nope, no update out of California. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll have something from California next week. Taking a look at this week's flu update from the CDC, we can see here there are more states in that purple shade. Not one, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 states are now in that purple shade. And I must remind you, last year was the first year they introduced that purple shade, which is a very high level. And here we are with 7 states yet again, not because of debt immunity or anything like that, because COVID. We're in COVID times. COVID can wear down the immune system. When your immune system's worn down, you easily pick up more viruses, and you can end up getting more severe cases of viruses. And, well, flu is spreading much more easily. We expect these high levels to continue to spread northward, as will the very high levels going into January. Alrighty, folks, that's all I have for you today. I will have another update of some sorts for you tomorrow. Don't know whether that will be the year in review or a regular pandemic update. But if you learned anything today, I know we covered a ton today. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you want to see more content like this. If you know anyone who needs to see this content, share this with them. If you would like to leave a comment down below, maybe something that you learned today, something that you want to add, maybe you tested positive for COVID, or anything that you want to say, by all means, leave that down below. I enjoy reading your comments. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you all again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic Friday evening. Thanks for watching.